Little pre-show ASMR.
I'm gonna crumple something into the microphone.
Next 45 minutes, you're gonna hear me eat this lobster. I hate you all so much. I quit.
Yeah, so hey, welcome everyone to Almost Heroes Episode 4, The Gang Solves a Mystery. In the last session, the heroes got into quite a tussle with some, what they thought were soldiers. Turned out to be some, I don't know, they didn't really find out exactly what they were, but they were followers of something called the Tattered Lord. Found a kind of like a scratched off coin on one of their persons, along with some I guess, soldier weapons and armor. After that, they were able to, after a pretty actually gnarly battle, they were able to successfully get to Whitport, where they were following essentially kind of a empire bounty notice to hopefully get some gold. But essentially, there have been a couple of murders in Whitport. And so pretty brutal attacks, and they have been sent to meet with someone named Cedric to help them figure out just what the fuck is going on. So now I will turn it over to you guys, where you have just driven your cart into town past some pretty aggressive seeming dogs that were chewing on some sort of like kind of like a small animal leg of some sort, and kind of driven past them and into town along the main thoroughfare here, kind of by location 4 onto the cobblestone street, and had essentially approached and started talking to a small figure wearing a very fancy blue coat, who, as soon as you kind of walked up to him, approached you and said that he was happy that you were there, that he was asking whether or not you had been sent to help, and that you had a mystery to solve.
Right. My name is Cosmo. We've come from just down the way at Tin Town, and you're Cedric. We're here to solve we're here to kill the thing. There's a thing to kill.
I mean, the problem is that there's already been things killed. We don't know exactly what's been doing it.
No, it's not us.
We don't really.
Nope.
Well,
Cosmo, good, smooth.
That's
Hey there, I'm Glenn. Nice to meet you. He extends a long draped arm.
Yeah, no, it's great. He walks up. You can now see like it. This person is a halfling. Very like blonde hair, like very nicely coiffed, and actually he has like these kind of like thin gold spectacles on that are kind of like looped over his ears. But he reaches up and he's like shaking your hand. Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh,
So
the gold spectacles look real gold.
yes, they do.
Neat.
If you guys want to come with me, you just I'll bring you over to my manor, and we can just kind of go over all this information, and then you guys can get started.
Right.
Well, does it look like you have means of transportation? Why don't you hop in the cart and we'll get on the road?
Oh, that's mighty kind of you. He kind of pulls himself. He kind of pulls himself up, and it's as dignified as he can. But he's able to get himself up onto the back of the cart.
What race is he?
He's a halfling.
A halfling. Right.
Halfling in a fancy blue coat.
Lead the way, my friend.
Yeah, just go straight down. Just go straight down the way, and then you're gonna go across the cobblestone. You're gonna cross the bridge, and then you're gonna go. Just kind of follow the dirt path there straight, and then you'll see a little bridge that's gonna take you out there to the right, just way out into the water.
Is it weirdly marked with a 7?
Yes. It's so weird. I've been trying to erase that for years. It just, that 7 just sits there on the ground. I don't know what it is. You know what it is? My gardener just keeps cutting a 7 right into my lawn.
Sometimes you just got to get rid of them, man.
I think it's lucky for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, you guys, so are you guys just heading straight over there?
Yeah.
I can kind of describe what you're seeing as you're going through.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about the town.
Yeah, so the town itself is largely a fishing village. It's on the Von Hurst Loch, and so it's this like enclosed body of water, but it feeds in from the mountains up north, and that's kind of what fills the loch itself. And so as you're going through, you're kind of passing by what looks like kind of residential housing over there by Area 3. It's this little like enclosed, what you think of almost as like a gated neighborhood, essentially, of like the nicer residential housing area. To your right, where location 4 is, you're looking at like a small marketplace. You can actually see what a pretty big burly man wearing a pretty blood covered apron, and he's got a pretty big cleaver, and he's actually chopping some meat as you guys are going by, and he kind of just looks up for a second and then kind of smirks and then just looks down, and he's still chopping his meat. As you're going through and you get closer to the bridge,
There's a joke
Can I roll? Can I roll for something really quick? Or
Yeah. Go for it.
can I roll for and I guess let me see. Hold on. Where did
See,
it
there's
go?
a difference between can you roll. Now I'm starting to wonder whether you're asking whether you're able to roll.
Right. I am
I know how
able.
to.
You are able to roll, but can you?
I'd like to get a divine sense about this guy to
Yeah, for sure.
if I can detect if I can detect good or evil from him.
Okay. Yes. So I would say that you do not get anything, any kind of like evil auras off this person.
Mhm.
No more evil than just like people are. It's not like he's emanating like he's not emanating like a demon aura of any kind.
Cool.
Um,
So I kind of look over to Cedric, and Cosmo says, "Oi, there, Cedric. What do you know of this town? How long you lived here?"
Oh, I've been the mayor of this town for maybe 15 years now, something like that. I came north maybe, well, I guess 15 years ago. Time really flies, but I kind of just fell into the position. My uncle before had it, and I just kind of got passed down, and no one really seems interested in the position itself. So it's just I just kind of make sure everything runs and everyone seems happy with it.
Do you like the townspeople here?
Oh yeah, they're great for the most part. I mean, there's always the ones that are a little rough around the edges, but
Right.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't want them dead if that's what you're asking. I don't know.
No,
Are you
no.
already trying to solve the mystery? I don't know. I don't.
No, I'm a hometown boy. I from Tin Town, and
Oh, a
it's-
homeboy.
I
I know of those.
right. I'm not your homeboy, but right.
Back in the halfling the halfling village I came from, they were called homies. Those are what we called them, homies.
You mentioned back home. Where is that originally?
Yeah, so that's actually the Fumblefoot Meadows is actually where I'm from.
And you mentioned your uncle was in this position before. What happened to
Yeah.
him?
He actually
I know your little
actually-
tykes live a long time.
he kind of just retired and decided that it's kind of like a kind of a halfling thing, just when you get older, just to kind of go off and just kind of try to go on like a adventure of some sort. And he kind of was like, he got tired of being here for too long and decided to take off.
Trying to find some magic rings or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Fight a dragon. I don't know. He went with a bunch of dwarves picked him up and they just went off to some mountain. It was weird.
Man, if there's one thing I've learned about dwarves, they start singing, you just go with them.
Yeah. The quality of that, it's weird. Like the quality of that adventure just didn't seem as good as the one before it, though. It's strange. It's weird.
You know they're gonna still get 3 out of them, so who knows?
For sure. Yeah. No, it seemed really, really stretched out when he was explaining it to me. It seemed like he could have done it in a third of the time.
Oh god.
Anyway,
Giant eagles, man. All they had to
Yeah,
do, giant
all-
eagles.
Anyway, yeah. So okay, so you guys are passing over the bridge now, and you see there's a couple on your right hand side towards the water. where Area 11 is. You're seeing like these small kind of thatch cottages that seem like you can see a lot of like fishing like boats and rods and reels and nets and all that stuff outside of these. You can see a couple people milling about. To the left, kind of towards that bigger building, it seems like there's a lot of activity on the inside of it. You kind of like it seems more like some sort of like inn or tavern kind of situation. And as you're going towards area 1 there on the map, Cedric actually pipes up and he's like, yeah, this is actually see this cottage here, this little one, kind of on the edge of the trees. This is actually where the first murder took place. It was right here, kind of where this road splits. This was where Ellis was actually his body was found. He was that was the first one. That was about a month ago. There was about a month between attacks, and it was after the first one. Of course, it's it's sad. But you think it could have been something that came out of the woods, or you never know. It could have been Knowles. Who knows? But
what race was Ellis?
Oh, Ellis was a half elf. That's a really weirdly racially charged question, but
yeah, Cosmo, you're coming out of the woodworks with some of these heavy hitters, man. You okay?
Well, it's just when you're trying to solve a mystery, things just need to line up. It could be somebody is targeting people.
Yeah, because some of the races, they're definitely known to just like explode into a bunch of bits as if they've been torn apart, and then some aren't. So you just really have to check sometimes.
Is that how we went? He exploded, as you would say?
No, that's a terrible joke. Especially Ellis was a great guy. No, it was pretty savage. He was it looked like he had been torn apart. He was found in a couple different pieces, scattered around. It was pretty strange. He didn't seem, though, the weird thing was, it didn't seem like he had been like all the parts still seem to be, and this is extremely gruesome. I don't really like talking about it, but it did seem like he was all there. It didn't seem like something had like eaten him. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's really kind of the weird thing is, you would think that if, it had been like a griffin or, chimera or something like that, like it would eat it it was the reason it killed it was to eat it, but it doesn't seem really like that was the case. And that's kind of what's strange about it. And then it was about a month later when we found just a couple days ago when we found Bella's body, and that was really kind of the nail in the coffin, so to say, with making sure that we got someone out here to take a look at it. Her body was actually found in the river over on the opposite side of town, washed up on shore. But
was she in pieces as well?
Yeah, she was all in one piece, but savage attack nonetheless. A similar kind of situation, unfortunately, and it was a really sad situation. She was a younger girl here in town, and everyone liked her. So it was
a half elf as well.
No, she was just a human, just a young human woman, maybe about 14 years old.
Oh, she's a little baby.
Yeah, it was really sad. It was a sad time.
About how long ago was she murdered?
It was about 2 days ago.
Wait, is her body still around?
Yeah, it's oh, you'll have to ask. Actually, I don't know. You'll have to ask her parents about that. They took possession of her body, and I don't know if they've interred her yet or not. But you can contact them. They're located up just north of town on the way out of town. And for out of character, location up by location 10 is where you would find them. It's the last cottage before going out of town.
And does Ellis have any other family here in town?
No, Ellis was kind of a loner. As far as I know, he ran the kind of the stables with livestock. So he would breed, goats, things like that, and just for meat and trading, that kind of stuff with the fishermen.
You mentioned right around this fork is where you found Ellis. I see your Manors must be that nice little boat across on that island. What's the other way in the fork?
Oh, into the woods?
Yeah, I mean, if I was a creature, looking to feed and get the hell out of town real quick, I might just go right back into the forest. Or into the woods. What's that way?
Yeah, no, that's it's that's obviously that's going into the woods around town, but there is a small cabin deeper into the woods that Molly and James live in. They're just kind of Molly's husband was a fisherman. He passed away maybe 3-4 years ago, and so they've been kind of eking by, but they're really nice. James was actually really good friends with Bella, and they were kind of this has obviously been really hard on them.
That's tough. That's tough to hear. And what was Bella's parents' names? Just so we're not, completely out of the blue, just approaching some faces.
Absolutely,
might be nice to address them.
Yeah. No, it's Gary and Linda is her parents.
All right. Well, why don't we keep on to the manor, and we'll discuss more once we get there.
Yeah, so you guys are able to. It's a pretty narrow bridge, but it seems well constructed enough. It kind of like island hops between these three islands, and then you get to his manor, which is by far and away. It's small, but it's like this well crafted and well manicured little kind of estate. And so he invites you up, kind of shows you a place to park the cart, and then invites you guys in. And it is like it's like a nice I would say that there's definitely been some money spent on this place, and you don't know whether it's something he brought himself or whether this is just kind of there's a little bit of family favoritism going on here or what. But yeah, it does seem like Cedric does live pretty well.
Does it seem to be out of place, better than the rest of town?
Yes. Yeah, for sure. It's probably it, and you don't know whether or not that's because he just likes it that way, or it could essentially be. And I actually, as you kind of look at it, it's a similar construction, but it's just the paint's for a lot fresher, and the lawn around it and the landscaping is well manicured, and it's just extremely well tended to and cared for.
Well, this is a beautiful home there, Cedric. Was it from the family?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, yeah, my uncle, he commissioned this. He had, it's just kind of one of those things. I don't know whether or not my uncle, where he got his wealth, but he built this place, and it's just kind of, it's one of those things. You want to make sure it's well maintained and make sure it's taken care of, and you want it to look good. I don't want to live in squalor. Gotta set a nice example for the town.
Right, as a mayor, it.
Yeah, for sure. And he kind of puffs out his chest at that a little bit. You can tell he's proud of being the mayor of this little town.
And then to the puffing out of his chest, Rangrim's just walking through his house, just touching absolutely everything.
Yeah, and there's little stuff.
This isn't real silver.
What?
That's not real.
We talked about this, man. We are gentle when we tell people that their materials are fake. Now, I'm sorry, Rangrim here is actually a master craftsman, and he actually recognizes materials based off touch. So he actually has to touch everything. It's a pretty complex scenario that he has.
What the elf said, and I'm still picking stuff up, I'm accidentally knocking pictures over.
I mean, it's fine if you want to touch it. I try not to break anything. To be honest, I'd prefer you not tell me what's real and what's not. I'm just going to pretend that it is, if that is okay with you. Most of this stuff is from my uncle anyway, and it's kind of like a...
Where was your uncle from? And what was his name?
Fumblefoot Meadows. It was Gareth.
Insight check.
Okay.
Who is your father and what does he do?
19. Yes.
Who is your daddy?
Yeah, I mean, as far as you could tell, his uncle's name is Gareth. And to be fair, I did just pull that name right out of my butt. So
I believe it. So I'm trying to keep you on your toes by insight checking the random NPC names you made.
Yeah, to be fair, I wrote down a lot of names. I probably have 15 names written on this paper.
And that was not one of them.
Cedric's uncle was not something I planned on discussing today, but we're here now, and it's canon. So
I'm just walking through. I'm wow, Fumblefoot Meadows. Yeah.
Yeah, look at this shaky Jenga house we built together.
Looking around do I notice anything like of insane wealth, or does it all just kind of seem like really well kept means? Like,
yes, that. Yeah.
Just really well kept means.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I honestly would just say that it's like, it's like when you look on Zillow or whatever, and you're like, oh, that house is like it looks really nice, and then you see the street view of it, and you're like, oh, they just painted it.
Yeah.
Like, it's all rusted and shitty looking before that.
That Fumblefoot Meadows, I've heard that name before.
Yeah, no, that's oh wow. That's weird that you've heard of that. That's it's actually from across the seas over in Nuarta. He came over here maybe 50 years ago, something like that, and started making his livelihood over here in Sakal.
And you moved over here as well? That was
no.
Same route?
I'm well, I actually did. I actually did come over here, but a lot more recently. Pretty much when I got the letter from my uncle, I decided to come over here and take over his position. I didn't really have a lot going on. I was just traveling around. I did little carvings, and you can actually see there's little wood carvings is actually a lot of the things that are like on the mantles and everything like that of different kinds of like driftwood. But that's you can see like little fucking sea creatures and different kinds of like
different things that he's seen.
Yeah, like
cool.
a bear in like a little scene with like some trees and things like that. Like the kind of tchotchkes you would see if you're driving up like the Pacific Coast Highway.
Yeah,
or something.
the 101. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. There's a Sasquatch.
Basically anything pewter that you can buy now, he has in wood.
Right.
Yep, exactly.
All right, well, Cedric, appreciate the nice little tour and maybe family history, but if we need a place to stay in town while we solve your, murders, if you will, where should we stay? Where should we look?
Oh no, yeah. I have a room here. I only have 2 beds. I only have my room, and then, but if one of you guys wants to, we can squish in here if you want to. There's also there's the inn, the Salty Scales Tavern, which always has rooms. So if you wanna stay there, Jody is great.
Well, us, we like to get to know the people around town before we make any decisions on, if we're going to take this job or not, or whatever it might be. So I think we'll be staying at the Salty Scales. But what do you think?
Right, yeah. I'm fancy pitching me a tent if I can, but whatever.
If you're gonna pitch a tent, I prefer if you never mind, I was gonna make a wiener joke, but I bailed on it halfway.
You went limp about halfway through.
Yeah. I couldn't keep it up.
There we go. Full circle.
Well, I'm pretty sure, Cosmo, before you go pitching tents around any kids, I owe you a beer. So why don't we hit the tavern?
Well, I just have one last question there for Cedric.
Does it have anything to do with pitching tents? Because I'm not interested.
No. It's mostly about this murderer.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you have any other insights or clues or people that you might be able to point us in the direction of what you might think this thing is?
There's not really aside from like what I've told you with the how the bodies were found. I'm not the best to. I didn't find the bodies myself. I only heard about it kind of secondhand. I didn't even actually see any of the bodies. I'm kind of a little squeamish. Blood really kind of gets to me. So
okay.
I would probably honestly a lot of people go through the Salty Scales Tavern. I probably would start there and just see what Jody's heard. She's like I said, she's great. I bet you anything too. If you kind of tell her why you're in town, what you're doing, she might be able to either comp the rooms or give you a discount. Of course, that's not me abusing my mayor privileges, but I'm just saying that she's pretty nice. She might be able to hook you up.
Any local guards that maybe have seen something?
No, actually, we don't have any. There's no Imperial Guards stationed here. We don't even actually have any town guards. We have kind of more of a militia formation. So everyone in town kind of bands together. We've also been really lucky. We being kind of in the center, on the water like this, we really haven't had any issues. We're kind of sheltered from it all. So, and being as small as we are, we just kind of get passed over. We haven't had any raids or anything in a long time.
Right. So there's no real point person on trying to solve this mystery as of yet.
Well, I think there are 3. They just got to town today, and I've been showing them around.
Right.
Hey.
So clearly, you jumped right on this mystery. So I guess we best get to work then. Right, boys.
Speaking of 3 of us, I'm pretty sure our buddy Rangrim might have taken his leave as soon as the word tavern popped up. I don't see
Rangrim's
him
gone.
anywhere.
Awesome. Hell yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and take our leave.
Sorry, what
Cedric.
location is his house again?
It's 7.
7.
And then the tavern is at 9.
Did you jump
It's at
in?
9.
I thought
Yeah.
that's where the dead body was found.
No, so the tavern's at 9. The dead body, Ellis was found at 1. The red one on the map.
Got it.
And then the 2
Two.
was where Bella was found.
Makes sense. The
on,
red
on
dots.
the shore right there.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I think on our way to go find our buddy, we're gonna make a quick stop along the way. But it's very nice meeting you, Cedric. We'll be around town, and maybe we'll catch you at the tavern for a beer later.
Right. We'll see you around.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm kind of a homebody. I'm gonna be here. I have a couple things I was in the middle of carving, so I'll probably just be on the porch if you guys need any help.
Sounds good. And Glenn starts walking out. And do we leave our cart? Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are welcome. You guys are welcome to leave it there. You don't have to drag it around with you.
I feed my horse. What do we rent? Is it a horse?
Yes, it's
Okay.
a horse.
I give it a carrot that I just happen to have and walk away.
I think it's a white and brown dappled horse, if I remember.
I just know that I'm probably going to have to make an animal handling check later, and I want this horse to like me.
Handle the shit out of that animal. Awesome. Yeah, so are you guys doing anything on your way to the Salty Scales, or are you just going straight there?
Well, Rangrim left first, so Rangrim, was there anything you were doing? Because I want to stop by that house. wanna
Rangrim
stop by
is
one.
just slowly making his way across the series of bridges to this house. Because I'm assuming it's daytime,
Yes. So you guys,
and your boy
Ooh.
can't see too well in bright.
yeah. So you guys got woken up in the middle of the night in the early morning, and so it probably would be around 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so you guys would still see me like struggling to like walk in a straight line because I'd be having a hard time just like seeing normally, and probably just like griping to myself about it under my breath, like
Because the vitamin A deficiency.
yeah,
D.
so I'm like,
It's vitamin D.
Meredith, fucking Cecil, Connor, whatever his name is. It was this tavern, and like I keep almost falling off the bridge because I can't see shit.
Oh yeah.
But that's about it.
Does he
Awesome.
need? Does he need to roll in athletics?
To not fall off.
Go for it.
Athletics to walk.
Athletics to walk. Sick.
He sinks. He
6.
dies.
It's a 6. Yeah, you guys. I'll just say that you're walking. So how about this? I'll just say that you're walking really. You're kind of like not making a lot of headway, and they catch up with you pretty quick. And you kind of, as they catch up to you, you're kind of like seem like you're about to take a header off the bridge. If anyone wants to help or catch Rangrim.
Cosmo wants to reach out and grab him.
Give me a I guess would it be a acrobatics or I guess athletics check to see if you can strong enough to pull him up.
Pull my character sheet here.
You can do it.
You can do it.
15.
Oh yeah. So you're able to kind of grab him and he just kind of swings him back on. He just kind of like was kind of stepping off and was leaning off, and you kind of grab him by the arm and kind of gently swing him back onto the bridge and back onto a straight path.
Nice.
Whoa, where did you come from?
Whoa, easy there, mate. We was just trying to catch up with you.
I'm going to the tavern.
Glenn doesn't even stop stride. He just keeps going.
You best stay with us there, mate, because you seem to be struggling. We just want to check out this house over here on the way, and then straight on over to the tavern to have some.
I wanted to go to the tavern, and then I went outside, and I realized fuck all, son. I can't see anything, and I hate it. I need to go back inside somewhere. Preferably the tavern. I guess we can go to this house.
Real quick, mate. Real quick.
And so Rangrim's following behind Cosmo, and the only way I can explain this, he's like holding the back of his tunic like a scared girlfriend in a haunted house.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Glenn's gonna keep walking, and he's gonna send his Raven to just kind of like flow maybe like 50 feet above us, just kind of watch a cone view around us, see if anybody's approaching. Just to let us know if he sees anybody approaching.
Awesome. Yeah, you don't see anyone around you at all. It seems like it's pretty. It doesn't seem like things have really kind of popped off here yet in this town. So a little early. Yeah. So are you guys just going over to the house? What do you like? Kind of how are you approaching this?
I mean, it sounds like since they said there's no guards, I'm guessing there's not some version of like caution tape, but is it like anybody around it, like preventing people from going in? It happened like a month ago, so I imagine it's just like an empty house.
Ye olde caution tape. Yeah, no, it's so it's a little thatched house with essentially this like wooden gated like livestock area on the kind of right hand side of it, more towards where the woods are, and there are no animals in it at all. And the door is closed, but there's no one around. And it's just like a wooden building and, thatched roof. Very, very humble.
Let me get that door for you, and using Mage Hand to open the door.
Okay, yeah, so going to push it open, it is locked.
Boys, we might have ourselves a problem. Do I notice like a lock on it, or it just won't budge?
Yeah, so it just seems like it won't. No, there is a lock on the door. Like there's a metal lock.
So as I turn to them, I'm like, boys, we might have a problem, and I pick it with my Mage Hand while I'm telling them that there's a problem.
Yeah, just roll a sleight of hand check. Or thieves tools, actually.
What is this problem? Is that always a problem?
Was that a 1? Hell yeah.
Right as I see him like struggling to get this, I just come straight up with my hammer and I hit the doorknob.
Awesome. So what happens is you had been picking it with your thieves tools, and he breaks, essentially snaps the thieves tool off in the lock. And roll me a athletics check, Cosmo.
That is a 17.
Okay, yeah, so the door smashes in, and you also break his thieves tool lockpick.
So, I was specifically trying to come down on the doorknob, not necessarily like knock the door open, just like to
smash it off.
Just smash the doorknob.
Okay, yeah, you cleave the doorknob, and the entire locking mechanism and everything kind of breaks out of the door. Doesn't seem like it was actually the door itself, like the wood was that sturdy, and it actually seems like the kind of steel doorknob and lock mechanism is actually stronger than the door. So as you get the leverage to break it down, it actually pulls the entire thing out, and now there's essentially a hole in the door, and it kind of just swings open a little bit.
No more problem there, mate. I got you.
I mean, I might have been able to get that on the second or third try, but we'll just try your method from now on. And I take the handle, like the heavy steel handle, and I look to Rangrim, who's pretty much fucking blind right now. I say, Rangrim, you might be able to use this, right? And I toss it at his head.
While I'm laughing because I'm aware that he just broke his thing. He broke his egg, and I'm gonna try and catch it, and I'm pretty sure I have disadvantage on this if I'm in direct sunlight.
I think so, yeah. Oh, that's right, because you're a Duergar.
Yeah.
Duergar.
So that one was oh, okay, look at me. I don't even know what check that would have been, but I rolled a 17 and a 20.
Nice.
Disadvantage.
So I think you put your hand up to because you're holding you're blocking the sun out of your eyes, and it just catches it like this in front of your face.
He's like small. Just put your hand in the air. Yeah. Put your glove in the air.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that feel like
you gotta wake up? You gotta wake up pretty late in the afternoon to get one over on Rangrim Dark Forge. And I wouldn't inspect it. Would I know what type of metal it is? Would it be like steel or iron or?
Yeah, so it's steel. It's it's the like the humidity in the air from the lake has definitely it's tarnished it, but it's it's not rusted or anything. It hasn't been like you could definitely melt it down and turn it into something good. But it's a solid, probably like probably about this big of solid metal, solid steel.
How much would you say it weighs?
I mean, if we were just asking for no reason,
I don't.
What are
like
you trying
toaster.
to? You trying to get some
Like a-
money for it?
like a-
You're just trying to like
a
fucking.
toaster. Is that
Like
the new unit of measurements now?
like a heavy toaster.
So 3 pounds. Got it.
From it's like a small microwave or a toaster. Like something like that. Like a
You're
little.
just trying to hustle this? Like you're just trying to scrap it? Like what the hell?
Yeah, you guys just you know what? Actually, there's a ton of copper wiring in this cabin.
Kind
If
of
you guys
copper
just start
piping.
ripping it out, just completely get that copper wire.
The gang tries.
I want to do a perception check for air conditioners.
There's actually a bunch of TVs in there with the glass tubes in the back. You can break those things right off and get the platinum out of there.
Amazing.
Anyway,
Who's down
hey,
for some Freon?
anyway, you guys want to solve a mystery?
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
So I looked at
Um,
Rangram. I'm like, hey Rangram, if you don't mind fishing out a little small piece of metal in that thing when you get some time, be nice to be able to open some doors in a quiet manner next time.
Nah, I can fix your thing.
And I walk inside.
He just takes his broken thieves' tools and sticks them in the pocket on his apron on the front of his armor and just follows suit with his
Nice.
compatriots.
Nice. Yeah. So you go inside, and it's a pretty humble cabin. It's just one room. There's a bed in the corner. There's like a kitchen corner. There's a kind of a scrub table in the middle of it with some like paperwork on it. And aside from that, it definitely seems like it hasn't been touched really in about a month. But it's just it seems like one person lived here with pretty meager existence, and there's a door that goes back that goes out to the back, and you assume to probably like where the actual livestock were kept.
Right. So I think when I walk into the room, was this where Ellis was murdered?
No, Ellis was found in the road. He was actually like kind of where the road forks out in front of his cabin.
So he was out in the
Any
out
blood
front.
when we were walking by it, or did it look? I mean, it was a month ago, but like, did it look like there was any like gore?
If you guys want to go actually inspect that area, I'm kind of doing this like section by section, so like different areas have different things. So like if you guys want to go take a look, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So if you guys want to take a look at if you guys want to take a look at the cabin, awesome. If you guys want to go take a look at the road, awesome. Just let me know where you're kind of looking at. Or if you want to like anywhere around, just kind of like be like, hey, I want to take a look at this area or whatever.
Yeah, we're in the cabin. We can stick in the cabin.
Right.
Okay.
ahead,
Any personal belongings that I see?
It seems that's actually roll me in investigation. Whoever wants to take a look around.
But absolutely being like grilling the shit out of this cabin.
Investigation. I've got a 19.
Rangram would be looking around also.
I'm better than you.
8.
Okay, so Rangro got an 8. What did Cosmo and Glenn get?
19.
18.
Awesome. Yeah. So where I guess so personal belongings in here. If you're just looking for general personal belongings, you don't seem to see much. It actually seems like you don't know whether like someone came through and it's just like a normal thing. I mean, this town is they're not meager, but they don't have like a ton of means. So like if someone dies and they don't have next of kin, like it seems like someone has come and taken like the food, taken like the general like usable necessities are all gone.
So it looks like it's been pillaged.
Yes, like not like knocked. Things aren't like knocked on the ground. It doesn't seem like it's been turned over, but it seems like people have definitely come here and like they probably distributed his belongings, just throughout the town or whatever, or took him to the market. Who knows? But it definitely seems like as far as like valuables go, like for general food and whatnot, it's been cleaned out.
Okay.
On the table, you do see what looks like paperwork that is essentially tracking livestock, like of his current inventory with dates, and what the last marking on there, which was you would have like it was pretty much like the day of what you would have understood to be his murder. It said that he had 5 goats actually as part of his inventory. And so that is kind of like that would have been like what he
added
had.
to his inventory.
No, yeah, he had like he had 5 goats in his like in the back at the time of his murder.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually, Glenn, as you're walking around, you kind of you step on a floorboard and it kind of creaks a little bit, and you kind of like lift it up, and there is a little sack of like maybe like 5 gold coins in there.
That's the only thing that I find in that little secret compartment?
That's it. Yeah, seems like it was just like right by his bed, and you just kind of
What
like
was
noticed
it?
it when you were just a little sack of like 5 gold coins.
Okay.
Pull out the sack and hey boys, looks like our boy might have been saving up for something. I'd like pocket it, put it on my hip, and then I hand over the ledger, I guess, to Cosmo and say, I thought on our way into town we might have noticed some dogs ripping apart a goat. Kind of interesting. About a month ago there was 5, and looking at it now, I don't think we saw any goats on our way in. Did you?
No, but this place seems pretty picked over. Who knows where things could have been dispersed. But we did see a butcher coming into town.
That's a good point. Cedric mentioned that our boy Ellis here was responsible for taking care of the livestock, and with him out of the picture, someone had to take on that task. Maybe we go ask the butcher where he's been getting his meat.
That seems like a wise pick, but I wonder if we might check in on Bella's parents, try and find out really maybe if they know any clues as to what might have happened to her, because nobody seems to know what happened to Ellis.
I think that's a good idea. I do want to go check out where the scene of the crime may have happened. Whether or not it was a brutal attack or maybe crime of passion, but we should take a look before we head out.
Right. And the tavern seems like a great place to see if there's anything to be found.
I agree.
The tavern seems like a wonderful place to get information.
Right. And some beer.
That too.
Nice. So you guys are heading. Are you checking out the scene of the murder on the way there?
The scene of Ellis's
passing, right?
murder.
Yes. Yeah, you're going
Ellis.
through it. Yeah. So just outside of his house, where kind of everything splits, pretty close to his house. Honestly, it's probably within like 10, 20 feet of the front of his house. You would have passed. You would see this little area in here where the road split, and that's where Cedric had said the murder they had found his body essentially kind of spread out in a couple different places.
Quick question. The ledger that had the inventory, did that also keep track of like what he sold and how much he sold it for, or is it just inventory of what he had?
Yes. So it does it does have track of like who he was selling it to, and there was it's marked on there Joseph and Ernest, and those seem to be the 2 main ones that he was selling to. And then from time to time other names would pop in, but Joseph seems to be the biggest buyer. And they were paying like relatively meager sums for these. It would have taken a lot of selling of goats to get up to 5
gold
coin.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 gold. So yeah, it seems like Joseph was the main buyer in the town, and then
can we take that?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I pocketed the ledger and the 5 gold.
Okay.
Cool.
I reckon we can ask Cedric about some of these names, and or something.
Cosmo, I think you're on the right idea. Let's hit the tavern, make a quick little stop on our way, but make sure Rangrim's nice and thoroughly quenched.
Yeah. So, do you have anything in particular you're looking for over at the area, or are you just kind of like just looking around to see what you can see at the murder site?
I think I'm just because it's been a month. I can't imagine there's much left to be seen. But I don't know. I guess we could just do like a general investigation around because there's not going to be much blood. A lot of that stuff's going to be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it happened like in the dirt, right? It mentioned they found his body on the road, but I would want to check like the thickets and like the tall grass or the grass
Right,
next to it.
yeah.
Basically the green stuff around it. I'd want to see if maybe like someone dropped an item or there was like some clothing that got stuck on a bush or something like that.
Do we see any immediate like permanent damage to the surroundings, maybe from combat or anything like that?
You don't see. There's not really a lot around. Like, there's no damage to his house, and that's the closest structure.
Mm-hmm. But like a broken tree or like.
Yeah. So yeah, roll me if you guys are checking out the thicket and kind of that direction. Roll me investigation.
Okay.
Got a 23. 18 plus 5. Wait. Yeah.
12.
Is that a disadvantage?
No. Oh no, I only have disadvantage to perception checks that rely on sight.
Nice.
Oh.
I think. I'm checking.
Yeah, this is mostly going to be investigation because you guys are looking for particular, like, purposefully looking.
Right. 23 is gonna be the go. So
okay.
Go ahead there, Glenn.
Yeah, so you guys walk over to this like copse of trees and you are kind of looking around and you do kind of see like not right away and like not on the but as you kind of go maybe a couple trees in, you do see these kind of like long cuts on one of the trees and then kind of a little bit further in you see like this like a couple like pieces of orange hair that are like stuck in some of the bark. Like just like a tuft of hair like orange tuft of hair that's stuck in this bark.
Okay, so when you said there was a cut, you did a claw-like motion. Is there one cut, or is there like multiple cuts across the trees?
There are at least four slice marks. Probably, I would probably say like at least half a foot total, like between the top and the bottom claw.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Okay.
Half a foot. Jesus. Okay, and then Glenn, when he notices this, would kind of call Cosmo over. Hey, Cosmo, why don't you take a look at this? And he grabs the tuft of fur out of it and kind of like holds it and hands it over to Cosmo. What do you ever see any hair like this down in your minds or anything? Does this bring anything to mind to you?
If you want to roll a history check, you can see if you.
I mean I can, but I wouldn't know shit.
I take the hair and I say, wow, it looks like a 19.
I would say that it would not be something that you've dealt with down in the mines or in any kind of like. As far as like I know of your backstory, I don't think you would have dealt with you have seen anything like this before. But it's kind of like it's not coarse. It's like kind of like softer, which is weird. But it's just like kind of longer orange hair.
I don't know much about it, but it does seem like they'd use a really good conditioner.
yeah, they leave-in conditioner. They really take care of themselves.
They take care of their fur, even on their claws. Their claw fur is well kept.
Yeah, one thing they really know how to do is they really know how to just keep that shit silky smooth, and then also how to fuck villagers right up. Just take them right to town.
Probably from that town of Tresemme. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's just south of here.
Yeah, dumb.
I reckon we could.
Hearing this discussion about the hair, Rangrim also wants to investigate the hair.
Okay.
And
roll a hair check.
More to if I can discern the like species or race that this hair would have came from.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you want me to roll for that?
Probably. I would
nature?
say.
Is it?
Yeah, nature. Nature's probably good. If you want to do that.
Cool. Still +0. Let's go.
Let's go.
That is a 17, and Rangram takes the hair and puts it in his mouth. And what does
Yeah.
he find out?
Dude, what if that was just blonde hair that's covered in blood? Like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
We're gonna
so
find out if that's what it was.
It's an old tampon.
from the consistency of Jesus Christ, that's terrible. From the consistency of the hair, you can tell that it's definitely from some sort of like a beast creature, not any kind of like
Okay.
sentient. It's not like off someone's head. It's not like a red-haired person where this would be off of. This is much more of like some sort of creature with like at least some orange hair on it.
Hmm.
Orange, it's fur, I guess. At that point, it's not hair; it's fur. Now you've discerned it's fur now, not hair.
Yeah, it's not hair. I'm like, that's not hair at all.
Otherwise, he would have kept chewing
Yeah.
it.
there haven't many Weasleys through these woods recently, so.
Well,
fine.
I reckon we should keep some of this for evidence and carry on towards the tavern. We
I
have
agree, and I take the hair fur out of my mouth and I put it in one of Glenn's pockets.
Awesome.
Yeah, he just like very irritatedly.
You could
puts
just
it
like
away.
wipe it on his shoulder.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, as you
to the
guys.
town or tavern.
Yep. So as you guys are getting close to the tavern, you see a very kind of like a taller figure, also very broad, kind of pushes this person out of the door, and they kind of stumble back a little bit and kind of fall into the street, and they just kind of start. They're kind of like pick themselves up, and they're stumbling a little bit, and they're like, I swear to God, I saw it. I saw it, and then they just kind of start walking down towards the cottages towards Area 11.
So a broad person pushed a presumably drunk smaller
White
person
girl?
out of the tavern.
Yes, the figure the figure is actually broad, but it's a much shorter figure, kind of like much more like stature like Cosmo or Rangram.
The one that did
they
the
were-
throwing.
Were they ejected?
No. Yes, the shorter, stockier figure got ejected. I guess you would probably recognize them as a dwarf, but they got ejected, and they're kind of now stumbling down towards the cottages to 11.
I walk up to the tavern door and I hold it open for my dwarven friends if they want to enter.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Hey, you're all right, Elf. And I like kind of slap him on the. I don't know, like
Just
probably
give him
his
like a
waist.
gentle face tap.
Back of the hand.
Thanks, bud.
You's okay there, mate. You's all right.
We'll work
Yes.
on that whole personal space thing.
Yeah, so as you guys walk into the Salty Scales Tavern, it's a very kind of like warm and inviting environment in here. There's only a few tables, but they're it's not packed, but they're definitely like a nice smattering of some pretty like salty looking sailor types, and just kind of there's the dull roar of just like people talking and playing cards and whatnot and drinking, and you actually see the broad figure that you saw eject the dwarf from the bar as you were walking up. You see a blue dragonborn lady who's actually walking around carrying tankards of ale and is dropping some of them onto the tables, and kind of takes notice of you guys walking in and is like, well, welcome in.
Nice to
Rangram
meet you.
just goes 2.
He means dwarven stout. I pardon my friend. 2 dwarven bouts, please.
Hey,
Well, absolutely.
what
I'll
eggs
get
it?
I'll get on that right now.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
take a
reckon
seat wherever you want. Take a seat wherever you want.
I reckon you must be Jody.
Yeah, she's kind of taken back. She's like, yeah, where did you?
Cedric said we could find you the best dwarven stout in the land here.
Well, that's mighty kind of him. Let me let me see what I can do real quick. Let me see if I can rustle up for you. Just take a seat wherever. We got a couple tables open. I'll get those over to you right away. Does your friend know anything?
Yeah, what would you like, Elf?
I'll follow you to the bar. We'll make something together.
Yeah.
I normally have a special taste.
Go tell her your special order.
I follow her to the bar.
I have a feeling that this is gonna be a more complicated one, huh?
It sure will.
So she's just rustling behind the counter, like pulling a keg up on the counter, and is like pulling those stouts and like tapping the keg and everything. And all right, what can I do for you, my friend?
You ever hear of this drink called the Flamin' Lips?
Absolutely not. What the fuck is that?
Look, I don't know. There was some guy named Tom. He made it in another town. It was delightful. There was some fire.
He's a liar.
Yeah.
He
made
it up.
You know what? It's so weird. Usually, all us bartenders have like this shared mind meld. But you know what? I think you're gonna have to tell me what this one is. And she kind of like puts both these tankards on the counter. But I'm sure I can do it. I've been at this for quite a while. What can I?
Rangrim is laughing hysterically at this exchange, just back and forth, looking at her to Glenn.
It's got a little bit more of an up angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You strike me as a craftswoman. Why don't you just make me your best drink?
You know what? I think I can find something you like. And so she kind of goes behind the counter and she's like pulling out all these different kinds of like little vials of things, and like, he's getting really into it. Like maybe she is kind of like she's been trying out some stuff in her free time, so she's making like this like tinctures and different crazy stuff, and she kind of puts it all together and kind of slides it over to you, and it's in like just like a regular like ale glass, but like as you kind of you bring it like I guess like a tankard, but as you bring it up to your nose, like you get like really like it's almost like a very herby kind of like floral smell off of it. So when you take a drink, it's like it's very good. It's like a very easy drinking kind of almost like has like a sparkling kind of thing to it, so it goes down smooth.
Wallace,
I knew you'd be able to find what I wanted. Throw 2 more ales on my account and let me know what we owe you.
Wallace budget or Cosmo budges in. Wow.
Drink.
Wow.
Drink. 100%
Wall
drink.
break.
A god walks into the tavern.
Wall. That's like the 5th wall.
Oh god, there's no walls left.
Yeah. You broke the game,
Oh,
and then you went to
no.
another game and brought that in.
Good job. So she fills up the 2 more, and then so there's essentially with yours there's 5 drinks sitting on the counter.
Say, boys, this round's on me.
Hey, if you don't mind me asking, what are you guys here for?
We're here to
Murder.
We're not here to murder people. We're not here to murder people.
Whoa, that was intense.
To investigate a murder.
Rangrim. What did you just? Shh.
Always start our sentence with verbs.
He gives him a beer. Cosmo just hands off.
We are here murder.
Rangrim, drink this, please. Just chill.
He's drinking. I love it. He's it's real. It's really good for the Foley.
I mage hand a cigarette out of his beard and I hold it up to him and I light it.
Is it?
Like,
hold on. Is the mage hand invisible?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just like something going through his beard, pulls it out and lights him a cigarette.
That's amazing.
Cosmo is telling Jody why we are here while this exchange is happening.
Awesome.
Of just
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you guys are. Yeah, that's really sad. That's really sad business. First Ellis, and then being right there too. Actually, some of our patrons were some of the first ones to find him, and too. And then for Bella, that's just the saddest. She was just such a sweet little girl.
Yeah, so young.
And what I didn't tell her, I will just to preface, what I didn't tell her is what we found in the forest.
Okay, cool.
Just I don't want anything being said too prematurely, and as far as suspects or anything go.
Okay.
I just want to clarify that. So, and
Okay.
then just kind of follow up with a question of just
Jody, yeah, so there really are no leads here in this town. Have you heard anything just in the townsfolk when you hear things at the bar?
Yeah, roll
Rumor
me,
mill, if you will.
roll me your persuasion.
Ooh. I'm a very persuasive young dwarf, fear not.
You're staring right at her belly button.
She's a dwarf. Get off.
No,
She's
not.
She's a dragonborn.
Yeah, the dwarf got ejected.
Oh.
Out.
Oh well.
Yeah,
She's like 7 feet tall. She's
Yeah, the
taller than
dwarf-
me.
Damn
the dwarf
it.
got ejected and is stumbling back to the little cottages to the south by Space 11. No, she's like a 7-foot tall blue dragonborn lady.
Oh. Well, I persuade her with a 16.
Yeah, we that night we had some of our we had people that heard screaming that that's one of the biggest things that anyone over here on this side of the bridge heard was screaming. They assumed that that was Ellis, of course. And then this is dumb. It's not even anything that's like important, but we had Noah was just that I'm sure you just saw me kick him out. He's been spreading, like he's just been scaring everyone, but he just keeps talking about seeing, like he saw, I don't even know, he saw something in the woods. I don't know. It's fine. We've checked. There's nothing. Like, that's the thing. Like,
What does he claim he saw?
He said he's so dumb. He said he saw a tiger in the woods. There has not been. There's no tigers in the woods here.
There's
Right.
Africa.
So it's ridiculous. He's just been kind of ruining the vibe in here.
Right.
We've checked the woods multiple times. The whole militia, the whole town has gone through the woods. There's nothing. They haven't seen anything at all.
Any new townsfolk in town?
New townsfolk. No, I don't think so.
Strange characters, hooded
You know what?
cloaks.
You know what? I wouldn't. They're not new, and they're not really townsfolk. There's a little band of, There's like vagrants. They're just. I don't really know much about them, but you see them walk through town from time to time. They're always. I don't know if they live here or what, but you get passerbys. It's a town with a lot of trade, and so but
Right.
there seems to be some some more like some vagrant types that have been kind of hanging around in the woods, but there's an old campsite just on the outskirts of town. But
That's where they seem to be coming from.
Yeah, I haven't gone over there myself, but I see them walk into town from time to time, and they haven't caused any problems. And you can't really just like kick people out for that. It's not really like something. We try to be accepting, and they haven't taken anything. They haven't really caused any problems.
How
So you just
long
kinda
have they
leave
been
be.
in town?
I'd probably say 3-4 months we've been seeing them. It hasn't. They've been,
Right.
like I said, they've been here for a little while now. They kind of just keep to themselves, and they just kind of camp just outside of town.
Okay, that's all right. Any
So you
names
guys-
that we need to know?
So that would be area 8 would essentially be what I'm talking about, though you wouldn't know really where that would be, but just so you guys know.
Okay.
But names, no, I don't have any. I don't really have any names.
That's
Like I said,
okay.
That's
all
we
right.
just seen them, and really it's just kind of secondhand. I get a lot of a lot of what I'm telling you guys is really just kind of secondhand stuff.
That's
I
all
just
right.
get that- I just hear people talking about it, but like I said, I just had to kick Noah out just because it's just kind of wrecking the vibe. And there's no way this fucking tigers. Come on, are you kidding me? That's just
Right.
crazy.
What I
did see
reckon.
the
No
Awesome.
tigers.
Does he
I
sus-
reach into Glenn's pocket and pull out a tuft of orange fur and
Oh my god.
throw the? I'm assuming it's still wet. Like you just throw it on the bar.
Can
She
I
just kind of looks down at it,
let
and then
Glenn, you're gonna let this happen?
Yeah, it's quick.
what is
Rangram looks super proud of himself too. Like he just solved the whole mystery too. Like
there's what Why is that? What is this wet? What is this? Why is it wet? Why is it on my bar?
Can I roll? I want to roll a strength check to pull Rangrim outside.
I mean, I guess if Rangrim, are you gonna go with him? Would you go with him for that?
Sorry, we broke up momentarily. I didn't catch what Bobby said.
I'm rolling a strength check against
pull you outside.
Oh no, my internet is not okay right now.
Oh no.
Oh no.
He froze.
He froze. Yeah.
Oh no, Danathan.
While this is happening, or at least while this whole conversation is
I think
going
he's back.
on,
We'll give him a second.
Glenn's been like surveying casually the bar just to see if anybody's like curious as to the conversation we're having, or if they're just kind of minding their own business.
I'm not even going to contest Bobby's. I'm sorry, Cosmo's strength check. I'm mostly just getting pulled away from the bar, like it's right in front of you, as he pulls me out of it.
So I turn to Glenn and I say, Glenn, handle this, and I drag Rangrim outside.
Okay, so Glenn, you're trying to listen to see if, or just kind of look around and see if anyone's reacting to this in any way, shape, or form?
Well, okay, so like while Cosmo was talking to Jody, I would have been like trying to see if like there were any prying ears to see what the conversation was, see if like anyone was like paying extra attention to. I mean, we're strangers, so I imagine people looking at us. But if it was like anybody was fidgeting or looking like nervous during the situations.
Yeah, just roll me an investigation.
Ooh, yeah. Natural 19, so 24.
I'm sorry, my internet keeps cutting out, so I'm losing all of you guys.
You're good. We'll keep you up.
Yeah.
24 to see if anybody was eavesdropping, I guess.
Yeah. So I think you hit the nail on the head. You guys are strangers in town for sure, and you're coming here talking about. I think Rangrim yelled murder really loud. So aside from that, you guys have definitely drawn eyes, but kind of as you guys were talking to Jody and they realize that you guys are she's just filling you guys in on what's been going on. They kind of seem to have like, they're definitely listening, but no one's like, twiddling a dagger or like anything like that. They just seem like they're kind of listening, but the second that you look over at them, they kind of just like, they kind of go back to whatever they're doing. Like they don't seem like they're, I don't know.
No one looks uneasy about the conversation. Okay.
No.
Okay.
They're
and then
curious.
I guess Glenn would say, sorry about my friend. I just kind of like casually put my hand over the wet, sopping fur, and I like put that back in my pocket. It's like, yeah, he's not been to the surface for very long. He's kind of losing his vision. With it goes his mind. Apologize about that.
Hey, I totally get it. I mean, the ale gets the best of all of us sometimes.
Sometimes with him, he hasn't had enough. So if we can actually just get one more, that'd be really appreciated. Just send it on out of his way. I'll take care of that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm happy to I'm happy to help you guys out and everything like that. But at some point you do have to pay for your drinks. I'm trying to make a living here. So if you have a gold coin, that'd be great. We can just we can call it even on these.
Yeah, it's we can settle up. I mean, we're gonna keep drinking, so why don't we take care of that maybe in a little bit? But
yeah, for
curious
sure.
If we need a place to stay. You guys have
we got some
here.
We got some rooms upstairs. If for another gold, we could put you up for the night easily. All three of you have your own separate rooms too.
Yeah, Mayor sent us on over, so just wanted to make sure that we the best.
You know what? Hey, you know what? Yeah, if you guys, since you guys are here in town doing some good stuff on for us, you guys can have the rooms for free as long as you pay for your drinks.
Hey, I appreciate that.
There we go.
Just wanted to know if we were looking through Ellis's spot and we noticed that most of the livestock was gone. Mayor mentioned that he was taking care of the livestock for the town. What might have happened? It looked like don't mean to offend, but this town, everybody kind of works for their stay here. What exactly did you guys do with most of this stuff, or more importantly, the livestock around town, just to make sure it wasn't anything malicious?
Yeah, I mean that actually is something that's kind of I've been hearing people talk about in here. Pretty much the day after Ellis's body was found, essentially that night, all of his goats kind of disappeared. So we don't know really who we eventually ended up, going through and like just kind of distributing some of his, some of his like food and whatnot. Some of the people that needed a little bit more in town, that was given to them. But as far as the livestock and the goats, those were just gone that night. And so I don't really know. I mean, no one really knows. Yeah,
it's okay. No problems there. We'll see if we can't catch a lead on that, because I know how important livestock is to a small town like this. I mean, you do have the fish import, so I'm sure food's not the problem, but milk goes a long way around here. I get that.
I mean, at the very least, it's good to know if someone's being as honest in a town this small.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. And tell me a little bit about I believe their names were Gary and Linda. It was Bella's parents. We're
Bella's
trying not
parents. Yeah.
What's their mindset? I mean, they just lost their baby girl. We don't want to, go knocking on their door saying we're trying to see, ask them a bunch of questions. Is there any, maybe some leeway you might recommend we can approach them with?
Yeah, I mean, I will say that if they were going to be susceptible, going to want to open up to anyone, it's going to be the people that are going to try to help, catch the person the person or creature that murdered their daughter. So I think bring that to justice. So I think that as much as they are grieving, I think that they would be probably open to talking to you guys.
That's great news. And just one last question. Your friend Noah, he seemed like he is on the sauce a little heavy. Rambling about tigers out here. That's just crazy,
right? It's crazy, just weird.
But we gotta dot our I's and cross our T's. So where might we find Noah? Just to ask some inquisitive questions. You saw how drunk he was. He probably didn't make it very far. He's either out in the middle of the road or he made it back to his cabin, which is down by the water. So just kind of if you just go straight south from here when you go out, you'll it's just a little group of fishing cottages. It kind of they kind of go in and out of season. People kind of travel here and they'll stay here and they'll catch, and then they'll go back to their towns or whatnot. So it's kind of like a communal living kind of situation. And Noah's been here for probably the last 6 months or so, something like that. He's probably getting ready to take off if he can dry up long enough to do that. I mean, hopefully you'll be able to keep him in town, because more money spent your way, right? And the butcher, I don't think we actually were acquainted with him. We went to stop by and he wasn't there. But what was his name again?
Oh, Joseph?
That must have been it. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Thank you for your time, Jody, and I'll see you soon. And
smooth, by the way. That was fucking smooth. I like that a lot.
I'll flip her a coin and walk out.
Awesome. She catches it.
Nice. Very nice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, walk outside, see them wrestling. I hand the third. I'm assuming Rangrim's finished his other 2 ales, and I hand him a third.
Oh, perfect timing. Just trying to get this bloke to calm down.
I'm plenty calm.
You're just giving us away.
What, tigers, orange fur. I figured it out. It's a tiger.
Right, but we can't go scaring the townsfolk like that. We're gonna incite a riot.
I love riots.
Yeah, well, we don't need any kind of pandemic on our hands.
Yeah, if you guys aren't careful, this shit's gonna go viral, so you better keep yourselves.
I walk up, or I just kind of interrupt the argument. I'm like, guys, we might want to go check in on Gary and Linda. It sounds like they might be, open to having a loose conversation with us. Sounds like they're pretty torn up about obviously losing their little girl, and might be looking for any way to, maybe get some help.
Yeah.
Before we do that, though, we should check out our drunk friend. I feel like not a lot of people know what a tiger is, and let alone are seeing them in the middle of the day. So maybe he's got some idea around this orange fur.
I think so. That sounds like a great idea. I reckon, what time do you suppose it is?
I would say it can't be more than 10:30. Like maybe get towards 11, but it's still pretty early.
Great. I'm gonna make a quick beer check, and I'll be right back.
While Cosmo refills his beer, we walk towards Noah where he was stumbling.
Yeah. So, you don't make it far, actually. You don't even make it past the first cabin, and you see a small stout figure, sprawled face down in the dirt.
I look to Rangram. Like, Rangram, you seem to have a way with words with people. Why don't you see if you can't wake them up? But be gentle.
I'm like poking him for a second. Oi. Wake up.
What? Well, what's going on?
Morning there, sunshine. How are you doing?
What? Is it morning?
I mean, it's been morning since you
my
got kicked out.
fucking head hurts.
Is that before or after you got kicked out of the bar?
Do you have a beer? Do you have a beer? I think I see a beer.
I'm just gonna hand it to him. You look like you need this more than me, champ.
He flops over onto his back and takes the beer and just kind of pours it into his mouth. Yeah, and just pours it, and most of it goes on his face and into his beard, but some of it goes in his mouth, and he kind of just shakes his head like, bleh. What the fuck do you want?
I can see that you're a dwarf of high repute. Tell me about this tiger.
Oh my fucking god, this fucking tiger. I told them there was a fucking tiger in the woods. It was in the woods. I saw it.
And it looked like a tiger. How did you know it was a tiger?
I mean, it was fucking orange. It was a big orange cat. It was, okay, mind you, I had a couple drinks. But but I will say it was in the wood. It was orange. It was in the woods, and I saw it. It was like 3 nights ago. It was a fucking tiger out there. Crazy.
Rangrim's gonna turn to Glenn and be like, "Fucking tiger, mystery solved."
Now, Rangram, you might understand why I'm not super privy to believe in this fine gentleman, as you put, of ill repute or a high repute. I couldn't tell, but
both.
Perfect. Noah, can you maybe shine some light on where you saw this tiger?
He doesn't get up. He just kind of points like this, and it's down. It's kind of down towards, like, if you look at the little cart that's on the map, and towards into the woods right there. So, like, he essentially came out and saw this thing in the woods, and then that's what he says he saw.
Yeah, the cart. Where do you? Oh, gotcha. Like between 1 and 9.
Yeah, between 1 and 9. Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, and then Glenn says, "You need help getting home, or you're just gonna kind of lay here on the street for a little bit?"
He is kind of already starting to close his eyes and is kind of starting to snore a little bit.
So Glenn goes, and I just want to make sure, and he just gets like quieter and quieter in his voice until Noah falls asleep, and then he immediately starts rifling through his pockets.
He ASMRs him to sleep.
Yeah. He just like gets really quiet. He's like,
hey. He starts speaking in parcel tongue. That's borderline what I think of when I think of ASMR.
That's very good. Oh god, Bobby, the things
hell?
got crazy on the screen.
What happened there?
Oh no!
I got us.
Hey!
Oh man, I didn't win.
He grew. We used
yeah. So
large.
I started rifling through his pockets.
Yeah.
Overlay breakdown. Sorry.
Yeah, you find like maybe 2 silver and like 5 copper or something like that. It's not very much. And then he's got like a bunch of like fucking bait and crap like that in some of his other pockets, like some kind of like some worms and some other stuff, and some like, you actually kind of like, are you doing it with the mage hand or with your own hand?
Oh no, I mean he's passed out drunk. I'm just going through it. Like,
Okay.
I'm not even really trying to be like gentle. I'm just rifling through his shit.
You definitely like get a fucking fish hook in your finger, and you're like, oh fuck, as you're going through there. Like there's like a bunch of crazy stuff in his pocket.
Yeah.
But yeah, see, you find a bunch of fishing lures, some worms, and then like 2 silver and like 5 copper.
Cosmo, he's just like,
I reckon you deserve that, you thief. You best leave what you found if it's not pertinent to the murder.
Hey man, you never really know with these kinds of fellas. They might be hiding some.
I ain't saying it's wrong, but don't just leave his personal belongings. He might need that.
All right, just don't tell your mom on me. And then I take I take half of the fur, half the orange fur, and I just like leave it on his chest.
Okay, cool.
Just so he can like easily find it in the morning, and I pocket the rest. And
just
then
put it in his mouth a little bit.
Yeah. And then I stand up. Glenn stands up and he kind of like dusts himself off and goes, "Boys, I think Noah might be not necessarily who we're looking for, but might be worth checking out this tiger idea. I know I want to go talk to our friend the butcher. Looks like he had plenty of meat, but there's a lot of missing goats, so that seems a little weird. But we should probably go check in on Gary and Linda, see what the parents have to say about their little girl."
Welcome in, Kunai. Oh, my friend. How welcome.
Welcome to the mystery.
We is solving us some mystery here on
It's
the almost. It's not. We don't know if it's a tiger.
I'm pretty sure it's a tiger.
Could be a tiger. Could just be Tony the tiger. Who fucking knows even at this point?
Whatever
That
it
would
is.
be great.
I was waiting for it. Awesome. Where are you guys going then? You're going up to Gary and Linda? Up to location 10 up there?
yes.
I just kind of okay.
Awesome. Yeah, so as you guys are going, walking past that, you're just kind of, there's essentially just like two houses, and you know that the last one before going out of town is the one that Gary and Linda are in. It's smaller, it's very humble, and then kind of across the way from that, there's like a kind of like a small clearing in the woods. But yeah, so how are you? Are you just going up to the door? How are you approaching this?
Kind of, I think Cosmo's approaching it very slowly, just observant, trying to just pay attention for anything maybe out of place. I mean, I'd be more than happy to roll for like investigation or whatever.
Yeah. If you're looking for anything, if you're rolling for a general like, I want to see if anything's weird in a general area, like I think perception. If you're looking for something in particular, in investigation.
Okay, so perception.
Yep, that'd probably be best for this.
Okay. I'm very. Go ahead.
While we're kind of moving through town too, Poe has been like, again, looking from above, just trying to figure out if we're being followed at this point. Just trying to keep an eye out, see if there's anybody following us.
Yeah, so you don't see anyone following you with Poe, your Raven, or right now.
Okay.
Seems all quiet on the western front, aside from the sleeping dwarf in the middle of the road.
Western front.
And there.
Cosmo rolls a 15.
Yeah. So you don't really see anything out of place. You do see that there are like, I guess like there seem to be kind of like tracks or pathway, like a natural path that seems to have been kind of worn over time between this house, this kind of pathway, and that clearing. It seems like it's relatively traveled often enough.
Are you talking about between 10 that like
and 5? Yeah, that little clearing right there.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Do I see a grave site anywhere?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, you don't see anything like that. So I don't. There probably is a grave site that they within the town, like, or outside of the town. But at this time, like, you don't see anything.
I don't mean to like meta, but if I don't know if there's a graveyard in the town or not, but
no, there's not one in the town. It's gonna be it would be just outside of town. Probably, actually, if you kept going up this road a little bit, there's probably the graveyard up there.
Okay. All right, cool.
Glenn knocks on the door.
Yeah. So it's not very, like I said, it's not a very big house. So a very short period of time later, a man comes to the door and is, can I help you?
Hey, you must be Gary. My name's Glenn Yaris. Nice to meet you, my friend. We, me and my cohorts here, were actually hired to investigate the tragedy that befell you and your lovely wife. Can we come inside?
Yeah. 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 Let me just 1 second. Let me. And he kind of closes the door, and you can hear them talking inside. And then you can hear things kind of moving around.
Mm-hmm.
And then he
What
comes.
do we see on the porch?
It's just essentially like there's not much of a porch. It's just kind of like a step up into an entryway, and
Okay.
maybe it's like enough for two people to stand side by side.
Okay.
And then just kind of covered a little bit. And yeah, so he comes back to the door. He's like, "Yeah, come on in. I just we still have Bella here, so we had to. I wanted to cover her up before you came."
Right. My condolences to your loss, mate.
Yeah. And he's just kind of like, he seems like he's trying to like do anything but talk about it or about that. So he's like, "Hey, so what can do you have questions? What obviously anything we can do to help." And you can see you can actually see Linda kind of she seems like she's like busy doing something in the kitchen area, like
Right.
seemingly like maybe purposefully, but whatever, not looking at you guys.
Well, my name is Cosmo Stoneheart, and me dwarven here is Rangrim, and we's here to find your daughter's murderer, and bring vengeance and justice to your family. And
that's amazing. Thank you.
I know that it must be hard to talk about it, but we kind of have some questions, and if you'd be okay with it, we'd like to inspect the body for clues or any sort of leads, because there really just isn't much in town to kind of get us on the right track.
Yeah, and as you kind of say that, Linda kind of in the kitchen, like she's like was picking up something or doing something, and definitely you can hear it like drop and kind of like makes a lot of noise, and then she's kind of just like picking it up off the ground and kind of going back to whatever she was doing.
Glenn, when he sees that or hears it, I guess he kind of looks towards you, goes, "You know what? All this gore, it's really not for me. Cosmo is really the brain of this operation. Let me go help the missus in the kitchen, see if I can help clean up." And walks by and goes and helps Linda in the kitchen.
Yeah, so as you get closer, you can just see that she's like visibly like trembling, and like her eyes are super super red, and she just seems like she's just trying to do anything but like talk to you guys about this stuff.
Right.
So yeah, so you're just kind of
quietly like starts cleaning up the plate and I don't know, helping her with dishes, whatever she was doing.
Yeah, she seems like she's like putting some stuff away.
Gary, I can't help but notice your wife is clearly having a hard time talking about this. Would you like to talk separately? I don't want to offend her.
Yeah, let's. That would be great. Actually, fresh air. That probably would be good for me anyway. Let's go outside. And so we can just go on the front porch area. So yeah, as you're going. So Gary just kind of walks outside, opens the door for you.
So I suppose when was the last time you saw Bella?
Yeah, it's actually roll me a persuasion check, please.
Sure.
See if you can pull some information. What level of information you're able to pull out of him?
18.
Okay. Sorry, looking at my notes here. Yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of worst thing about it, and thing that's kind of just really hard for both of us, is that we sent her out to go. We had gotten our meat delivery, and I guess not delivery, but I was ready for pickup for the meal that night. And Bella was just going like she does so many times to go pick it up from in town, and she just didn't.
Was she going to see? Was she going to see Joseph? Is that the butcher?
Yeah. Just, I mean, he's just kind of like the town staple,
right.
For that kind of stuff. So, yeah, she was just going to pick up a package. She's done it like 100 times. You know, we do it relatively weekly, and you know, she loves, you know, going and doing that, and so
right.
Yeah, it wasn't even that late. Yeah.
Did you?
He just seems he kind of just like getting kind of
right.
It's overwhelming him a little bit.
Right. Did you hear anything that maybe startled you? Did she come home? Like what happened after that?
No, we didn't hear anything at all. Like we didn't know anything had even happened until they came to our door and told us that Ernest had found her.
Ernest found her?
Yeah, Ernest is he's on the other side of the river. He's kind of like a farmer. Just, you know, he has a little plot of land over there, but it you know, he's able to get by.
Right. And
that's up by 6, by the way.
Yeah,
so you know.
No, I was kind of catching that.
Glenn, what do you have any questions?
I'm inside. I'm with Linda.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Just you two outside. Yeah.
Rangrim would like uncharacteristically calm and stoic, like put his hand on Gary and say, "This is their forte. Garvey, could I see the body?"
Yeah. Yeah, we can go back inside.
Well, hold on. I Rangrim, you're getting ahead of yourself, mate.
Actually, you know what? I trust you. If you want to go in and take a look, she's on the table, just in you know, just inside the door to the back of the room.
I looked at Cosmo and I'm like, "I don't know facts. I know wounds."
Right. Well,
I make my way into the house.
Okay. Gary, tell me, was there anything that they found at the site, or any sort of a struggle, anything else that you could tell me about the
That's the thing. Like, I don't even understand. It doesn't even make sense why she would end up like they found her on the shore on the opposite side of the river. Like I would understand if she had like fallen in and drowned or and something like that, but she, like, with the wounds that she had, I don't it doesn't make any sense to me at all. I don't get it.
Well, I really appreciate your time and you sharing with us. Is there anything else that you think that might be helpful in finding the murderer?
I don't know what else could be helpful in finding the murderer, but she was the only one that she really hung out with in town, her only friend, and the only one that knew her well was James. And I hate to send you over to him, and I'm in no way, shape, or form do I think that he has anything to do with this. But as far as knowing any, like, maybe she told him something, and we've talked to them, and Molly and James say they don't have any information. And I trust that if they were going to tell like anyone, it would be us. But that's the only thing. That's the only one she talked to and hung out with in town. So that's all I can give you.
Well, we really appreciate that. If you like, you can stay outside. I'm going to go on with me cohort and inspect.
I'm actually he actually goes inside and he actually collects Linda, and if unless so and then they kind of he kind of talks to her, and then they both kind of head outside and kind of go around back, and there's like a little what's up?
Nothing. I was just gonna offer something. Never mind.
Okay. I mean they're just walking by and just kind of hanging out outside while you guys do the inspection that you're looking to do.
Okay. And I kind of walk back into the building and I say,
Rengrim, what you see, mate?
And I'd go to wherever her body was located.
Yep. On a table, it's just covered by like a kind of like a burlap kind of sheet covering.
Okay, before we start the body investigation, sorry, can we?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Once I see them leave, Linda and Gary, they go like outside. Do I notice like the room that would have been Bella's?
Yeah, so there's a back there's essentially like a kind of like a back room, like the both think about like there's kind of two doorways going off of this like main room. So like if you want to look for whichever room that would be hers, go for it.
Yeah, so I would be basically looking for her room to kind of look to see if she might have had any like possessions or any like looking for like a journal or a diary or like a sense of like personality that'd be like really reminiscent of her, like she liked pinks or she liked lace or she liked whatever it might be. She had a special doll, whatever it might be. Trying to find like a reminiscent of her character.
Yeah, so I mean I would say it's not in a particularly girly room in any way, shape, or form. She's, being like 14, she's, kind of getting into her a little more like teenager years, but like it's a smaller, it's a pretty small room, probably like a 6x6 kind of situation, just really pretty much just room enough for a bed. But I'll say that you do just find like some like very friendly notes that are kind of on a little table inside the room that are just kind of between her and James, and just kind of actually roll me an investigation check to see what kind of information you glean from these.
17.
So you're kind of reading through this, and there's no kind of like they don't seem like overly romantic in any way, shape, or form. It just seems like a very good friendship, and they do mention the meadow a couple times, and just kind of like meeting up at like, hey, are you gonna do you want to meet up at the meadow or whatever else, and that's mentioned a couple times, and that's one of the things that you do pick up. And one of the letters does reference that Bella is being sent out, and the date on this is like maybe months or weeks before, but essentially that she's being sent out to go. She has another pickup, like a meat pickup, and whether or not James wants to meet over by the clearing.
All right. Glenn would very respectfully like leave the room, make it as close to untouched as possible.
Okay.
Do his best to make sure that the parents didn't even know he went in there.
So do you guys want to look at the body then?
Yeah, Rangrim would be like very carefully like pulling the burlap off of her body and inspecting the wounds, mostly looking for what he would have assumed what had killed her, and then kind of just glancing over the rest of any of her like wounds, signs of struggle, things of that nature.
I will say that it's kind of strange because her body is consistent with having been in water for at least like several hours. So there's not like a lot of blood because like it seemed like it was the water, like essentially it doesn't seem like there's a lot of like there's no blood all over the burlap or anything of that sort. Like it seems like whatever, the water has kind of, so very pale, like the skin is kind of like consistent with having been in water for a period of time, and the cut marks are essentially straight across the throat and down diagonally, and they seem like, I mean, they are there's
clean.
like they are they're clean and they're deep. and it seems like that was a pretty quick one.
Is that the only damage that we see, or do we see any other markings?
No, it's just pretty much the one cut.
Okay.
The one like slice across her. But like I said, it's 4 large and very deep gashes that run down and diagonally across her throat.
Okay.
Noticing that, Ringrim kind of puts the burlap back over her head and just like taps her forehead and just, without saying anything, just leaves the room.
Okay.
Glenn would probably be coming out of the room right when he sees him pulling the burlap over, so he kind of catches the brevity of Rangrim's demeanor, considering his usual personality, and just kind of follows Rangrim out. Looks to Cosmo and kind of gives a nod, saying, like, didn't really find anything interesting.
Right. Well, I suppose we should get Gary and Linda and let them know that we'll be on our way.
I think you have the right idea.
Aye.
I mean, I don't. It doesn't have to be any real crazy interaction with them, but
No. Where are you guys heading after this?
When Glenn walks out though, as he like kind of passes Gary and Linda, he reaches out a hand to Linda and he like takes her hand. He says like, "I'm so sorry for your loss," and in his hand is one of the gold coins from Ellis's bag, and like keeps walking.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't say anything, but she just kind of like looks at you and like definitely meant something to her. And Gary just kind of puts his hand around her shoulder, and that's kind of it as you guys leave. So you guys are going to the clearing.
We're going to clearing.
Okay. Yeah. So you pass through. It's a pretty wide opening into this. Like if it seems like this is kind of like a naturally occurring. It's not like it's hidden, no secret garden thing going on. It's relatively just like an open, grassy meadow that kind of goes into the tree a little bit, and kind of like a semicircle kind of situation. Yeah, but what are you looking for in particular? Are you just doing perception, or are you looking for?
Yeah, perception. I think generally to kind of start for me at least.
Okay.
I'd be looking for fur and claw marks.
Right.
Ringrim would be doing the same.
Okay, yeah. So if you're looking for fur and claw marks, roll investigation. If you're looking just for general looking around, that would be perception.
I got a dirty 20.
Okay.
I got a 15, so
Got a hooker's
Glenn.
20.
Glenn is in for the win.
Cosmo has a perception of 13. So I think our best bet is going to be that investigation.
Yeah, so as you kind of walk into the clearing and you guys kind of spread out a little bit and you're walking around looking, Glenn, you kind of catch with your like keen elven vision, you kind of see towards the back, you do see what looks like claw marks similar to what you saw at the other part of, or the other entrance into the woods, on these trees. And Rangrim, as you're like walking around and just kind of looking down on the ground, you see what looks like, it's not fur, but it looks like almost like a paw print that's kind of dug into the ground, and it is leading. There seems to be kind of like they're moving in kind of like there's a bunch of them in one area, kind of closer to the copse of trees, and then they kind of seem to head out into the woods. But there's something strange about these paw marks. They don't seem full. Like they don't seem like a full like paw. Like if a bear was going to walk on the ground, you would have the full thing. This almost seems like it's the front toes and then this part, and then it doesn't seem like a full paw print, which is strange to you. You've never seen anything like that before. And for Cosmo, you, with your perception check, you kind of like look off to the side a little bit and you see this kind of darker kind of against like the green of the ground, and you notice that there is kind of like what looks like a blood spray kind of in this one corner of the clearing, near
Right.
where the kind of struggle of the paw prints were.
Mm.
From about where I'm standing when I noticed the claw marks, I'm investigating the claw marks, directly above would be Poe, and maybe about a 50-foot like cone of vision. Does he see? Can he see either like the cabin that Cedric told us
Yes.
about? Okay, is that
Yes.
like a due line from where the claw marks are, of where I'm at?
Yeah. Yes. So you can actually, it is essentially like if you were going to walk straight through the trees, just straight to the east, you would essentially run right into the clearing where that cabin is. It's a pretty short walk.
Okay, and does it look like the direction of the claw? Like, does it look like the claws are kind of like scraping in that direction, or is that just kind of like?
Yeah. I mean, it's going. Yeah. So I would say that it is going into the woods, towards that direction, for sure.
Okay.
So you saw tracks?
I saw claws
Cut into the tree, like
yeah,
the ones that you
running
saw.
down. Like you saw multiple spots.
You haven't followed him in yet. You just towards the edge of the clearing, he saw cut marks into a tree, similar to the ones you saw over by where Ellis's body was found.
Okay. Okay. Well,
that Poe saw. It's generally the direction of the cabin. It's in the woods.
Okay. I'll let you continue down your path before I do anything with mine.
Yeah, actually, so at that point, kind of Cosmo, after telepathic commune with my Fae Raven, kind of looks over to Cosmo and sees Rangram kind of investigating, and he says, "Boys, I think we might have found a trail we can follow."
Right, and I think I found where Bella might have been murdered. There's a lot of blood on the ground over here, and I don't know.
And then I just kind of start to investigate around.
And Rangram, since you noticed the footmarks, the paw prints, you will notice that like as Glenn's walking towards you, you are looking up towards him, and you're seeing that the tracks are going directly that direction as well.
I think we go into the woods, see if we can maybe visit some of Bella's old friends, see if James seen a tiger the same way Noah has.
I agree.
Awesome. Yeah, so you guys are just kind of heading out in the woods towards through the claw, where the claw marks are at?
I'd like to have an opportunity to investigate this blood spot before I carry on.
Yeah.
I don't know how investigative I am. I'm not.
Does anyone else want to join on in there?
To investigate the blood?
Anyway, I can make a medicine check to see if I recognize if it's Bella's blood.
Yes. I think that
it is a positive.
I think, yes. Well, no, so I think that the way you'd be able to notice whether or not it is just because of the freshness of it. Because it was only a couple days ago.
Okay. I will, that is a 15 with my +6 in medicine.
Yeah, so I'll say that with your experience just with, just with battle and with just everything in your 150 years of life, you've noticed that like something like blood on things like blades of grass and out in nature, essentially, it hasn't been here even long enough for the rain to wash it away. So this is relatively new. This is definitely happened recently, and it also doesn't seem like there's been a lot. Like, it doesn't seem like there's been like anyone here. Like, it doesn't seem like there's like a lot of tracks. It seems relatively untouched, as if this wasn't like a place that people were looking.
And just a DM question. So we're up in like area 10, like this clearing.
Yep.
This blood spatter, is this near this waterway that runs like downwards out to like the main port area?
I mean, it's the clearing is essentially across the path from it. Yes.
Like it's adjacent to it. Okay.
Yes.
So while I see once I kind of get like the nod that we're going to start heading into the woods, Glenn would kind of follow his usual form. He would drop the white and gold robes, fold them like in a really neat package. Hold them up against a tree, take an arrow, and just stab the clothing, like probably like in the sleeve. Just leave the clothes behind. So just in all decked out leather armor, and he just goes up a tree, like just straight climbs a tree.
Cosmo, you were investigating it, right?
I didn't. I got a solid 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Blood.
That's
gotcha.
It's blood. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay. So does that mean you guys? What are you? No more investigating here. You guys are heading out into the woods.
Yeah, treetop to treetop, or like canopy best he can. He's staying very much out of sight up in the trees.
Okay.
So we're all moving towards this house now.
I'm just following the claw marks. I know where the cabin is, but
off to the woods.
Right. Okay.
I will say that if you're up in the tree, it's gonna make it a little bit difficult to see like the claw marks on the ground. But if you want to do that,
I mean, we can follow from the ground, right?
Yeah, well, I'd be tracking them on the ground, and I think he would more or less be staying in close proximity to us, right?
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So like from the point of finding the claws to where Poe announce or like let me know where the cabin is, I'm just moving like maybe 5-10 feet above everybody.
Let me get perception checks from all of you guys.
Is it still daytime?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, but you guys are in the dark now because you're in the trees.
Sick.
Yeah.
Not with disadvantage.
Yeah.
Oh,
so anytime
you
guys.
And I rolled a 1.
Dude, mine's so bad too.
Come on.
I got an 8.
Nice.
With a +4, so 8.
What'd you get, Cosmo?
4.
Perception. I got a.
Oh, I'm gonna roll for Poe. Not bad.
I'm sorry. What? Perception. Perception. I got a 15.
Okay, so you guys. Rangrim, you're like looking for the cuts in the trees. Glenn, you're doing the same. You're like hyper focusing, trying to see these things. Cosmo, you're kind of a little bit more like you're looking around a little bit more out of probably your element a little bit.
Yeah, I'm very much like I kind of feel going into this situation. I already feel on guard, like something's not right.
Yeah. So
Poe got a 17 from the air.
Okay. I will say that Poe is going to be at a disadvantage to see things. It's
in trees.
In the trees.
The tree
disadvantage,
yeah.
Motherfucker.
17 was better, or 17 was worse. So I just got a dirty 18.
Okay. Awesome. So then he's gonna see the same thing that Cosmo sees, which is essentially Cosmo. You're looking around as I assume you're like. Where in the back, like where in the pack would you be? So if there's Rangrim and Glenn, are you behind them? Are you walking next to them? Where are you at?
I mean, basically, I don't know where Glenn is. I don't know if I really have an awareness of that.
You really wouldn't. I'll do a stealth check just for funsies.
But I think I'm mostly just kind of got my head on a swivel behind Rangrim as he's like tracking.
Okay.
So it's just kind of like at his back, but just like really trying to be aware.
Yeah. So you look, you're looking around and you see you kind of look to your right, down towards like the south, like southern region of the forest. And you see a figure that is just staring at you guys out of the darkness. Just like standing next to a tree, just not moving, staring at you guys out of the darkness. Seems like a humanoid shaped figure, and they just turn and start running away from you, and that is where we're going to end the session today.
Aw, come on.
Sorry, guys.